remember, it's okay to question the world around you, but you probably won't find the answers you're looking for. Bye!
There's magic and wonders and mystery.
Today, we're talking about frame rates. My name is Trill Shatner, and this is Trill Digital. Selecting the right frame rate can be an art. So rather than discuss when to use each, or why, we'll instead talk about the practicality of using these frame rates within the confines of modern progressive frame digital videography. Now let's be clear. Obviously, the frame rates you choose don't define whether or not you're smart or stupid, just what you're most comfortable with in your workflow. That's enough. There's a hugely misinformed community of self-proclaimed filmmakers who coincidentally don't shoot on film that swear by using 24 progressive to get the film look. Unfortunately, many of the same people think that if they just shoot 24p, their video will look like film. Admittedly, we're all guilty to some extent of believing that technology can solve our artistic problems. But as far as I know, there is no technology that can magically transform poorly shot footage into film. I honestly blame all the content creators who each need to rehatch the same rule of 24p in their how to shoot cinematic videos. 24p isn't even very flexible as a digital format. It's literally the lowest acceptable setting on any camera since 2002 for temporal resolution. I understand the end result of 24p is pleasing. I have a lot of experience with it. I often render in 24p. But my initial reason for shooting in it wasn't because of the look. It was because I was trying to get the highest bitrate and resolution possible for my old digital camera. Now, some people swear by the extra 20% light compared to 30p, but that's insignificant to me because lighting. So yeah, if I had anything positive to say about 24p, it would be that it's easy.
And just beat the devil. That really is the fun part of it.
There's a lot of confusion around using 30p. There are the filmmakers that again shoot video who say that it just doesn't handle the same as 24p when shooting action. I agree. 30p is a noble frame rate, and while I shoot 30p for almost everything, I tend to render it out as 24p anyway. But therein lies the crux of 30p. It's a simple, easy to factor number which makes editing timelines easier. It has a higher temporal resolution of around 20% over 24 or 25p, which means that you have more frames for more effective use of plugins like motion tracking and 3D editing, before rendering the footage into specification either for Blu-ray broadcast in NTSC or PAL. So, in my mind, it's better to drop frame rates than to interlace. So again, while I don't tend to render at 30p when I can help it, I still shoot at 30p because when rendered in any format, I get highly predictable results.
Time for the tape. Time for the tape.
Most would complain that using 60p as a format to shoot with drastically changes the logic you have to use when shooting in order to pull emotions out of your viewer. And that assertion isn't entirely wrong. If you're unfamiliar with it, it can make your footage appear too strict. Panning looks too smooth, transitions really sharp, the tiniest movements like breathing become noticeable, and even action appears a little low impact. This is because of the lack of motion blur due to the raised shutter speed and the higher frame rate of 60p. Now, if you really wanted to bake in the motion blur, similar to 24p at 180 degrees, you could just shoot 1/48. I wouldn't, but it's perfectly fine too. But that's where the versatility of 60p truly lies. Having this increased temporal resolution makes working with it in post much easier. More frames to work with means less computer estimation for applying effects like roto brushing, stacking digital slow-mo, and color grading. And after you've added your compositing layer of digital effects like 3D or masks, you can simply throw a motion blur on it and render it out as a 24 or 30p for the children. Wow, don't you feel smart now? Hey, I hope you found this enlightening. I'm going to keep pointing at the camera because I haven't done much with my hands today. Remember, these are just my opinions and points of view, so don't freak out. Just DM or comment. I've got like 10 subs, so it's not like I won't notice. Like if you want to see more, subscribe, and I will see you again in a week.